Hello, this is Dan Farisi, Editor-in-Chief of Commercial Integrator. So happy to be joined this afternoon by Paris Chapman, who is Director of Sales, B2B Display, which is also inclusive of analytics and software for the Samsung Electronics organization. Thank you so much for being here, Paris. I really appreciate the time.
Dan, thanks for having me. I really do appreciate it as well.
So we have a lot of interesting things to talk about in the context of digital signage and large format displays. So let's get right into it and kind of share some of the knowledge that you have and that the Samsung organization does. We're obviously in a very evolved state of the world right now, what with the pandemic and other kinds of things. And of course, also technology evolution, different kinds of technologies and ways that they're being deployed. What do you see as the next big opportunity for digital signage right now? What's the big thing that's most appealing from your point of view?
I think, Dan, talking to customers and the interaction we've been having, we can say this about digital signage. Number one, we're no longer limited by a canvas. All different types of sizes of display, large, small, really to meet individual needs. It's a corporate office or a retail location or distribution, right? So I think number one, the sizes have changed. Two, the cost have really come down, and the ability to really have moments of excitement with digital at the right time is very important, and the right placement. And I think that is the second thing. The third thing is speed to market. I think the tools we have today allow people to set up a smart signage platform with the right digital to really speed to market and ease of use. And that's really changed the last 24 months.
Absolutely, it's been a big change. So let's now talk about touchscreen display technology, which I think also has become quite a large trend, being able to find information or make purchases with the touch of a button without really having any human interaction whatsoever, which of course was quite relevant, especially during the pandemic. What key applications for touch displays are you seeing today? And how do you see touch evolving in the future? Because as we can see in these categories, evolution is a sure thing. So where is it going?
Yeah, I think, Dan, that really the number one item that we're seeing with touch is people still want to touch a display. People still want to own the experience. And depending on the age group and the brand or the environment, how much they want to own that experience. And I think touch is now at the capabilities to where you can adjust that to where content can change automatically when someone approaches a touch display to get them to engage in that touch display. And also the different form factors that are available. Do you want to have an endless aisle in retail with a 24-inch or a 13-inch? Or do you want to automatically check somebody in the corporate environment? And for us, it's about reducing friction points in the buy, the education, or in that corporate environment or in distribution. And I think that's where touch is so powerful right now, is reducing friction points in the experience.
And I know the appetite for that reduction of friction is absolutely very strong. So to be able to facilitate that is endlessly appealing, I think, to customers and clients these days. So what have we seen as far as digital signage and ROI? That's what I'd like to talk about next. Why do you believe businesses should be investing in digital signage? How can the solution providers out there ease the process from procurement to installation to maintenance and keep that ROI as high as possible?
Yeah, Dan, I think if we treat physical space like a website and we didn't have any analytics or any knowledge about digital signage and the power or the ROI of digital signage, nobody would buy digital signage. That's the main problem we're seeing in the marketplace today that we have answered is, how do we address this question? So for an example, if we have a retail location or a corporate environment, we want to know how people are interacting with digital signage, how many people are coming and going, what core problem has digital signage solved? And did we increase the lifetime value of a client? Be it in a corporate environment, distribution, or even retail store, we now can tell the importance of that digital signage with these analytics tied into the platform. So now what we can do is really answer that question is, how profitable is a digital signage product, right? The retailer can say, did it increase the lifetime value of my client? Did they stay longer in the facility and have a better experience? Did we reduce the friction? And I think something that we really miss out on, even if the employees in a corporate environment, distribution, or in retail, are people, the employees working in the environment, are they happier with technology? If we're reducing friction points for the customer, more than likely we're reducing friction points with the people behind the scenes working in that environment, right? And I think we miss out on that. So I think the ROI of digital signage can be proved today, and we need to treat our physical environment like a website and understand these key metrics. So instead of a click, we have this key data to really understand how digital signage can power a business.
It's a very good point. Having that data at our disposal is invaluable. One of the maxims we hear in our industry all the time is that content is king. I think that absolutely is true. Having engaging content is critical to making an impact when it comes to displays. So Samsung being a leader in the digital signage space, I'd like to get your perspective on content management best practices, strategies, technologies, what you as a leader in the industry would suggest businesses invest in when it comes to content.
I think, as you just said, content is king, and we all know this, but content is expensive. Content is scary. And what we're seeing is a leveling playing field of UGC, user-generated content off of social media and other mediums that can be piped into environmental, hospitals, for example. People say great things when babies are born and you heal people, and you should be using the social media and user-generated content with your digital signage, right? And I think now, over the last 12 months, we've had a turning point to where we really have some third-party applications that really do allow you to use UGC to keep it fresh. And what I love about user-generated content, anybody can afford it, right? A small business, a large enterprise business, but fans say great things. Fans are smart. So let's take all the negative away from social. Let's focus the positive of that content. And something else I think we miss a lot of times, it's honest, it's accurate, and it's realistic. So when you see user-generated content, sometimes it's not the most beautiful 4K content, but it's very believable. So what we're seeing is, if you place the right content in the right time of experience in a hospital, a warehouse, or even retail, it makes the experience so much more believable and enjoyable, right? Mm-hmm. People believe fans, and it's that simple. So number one, I would say user-generated content is becoming more and more of a topic of conversation that can be piped in. Two is that with the different sizing and the ability of different size displays at the time of experience, you really need to consider your content. You need to have a content strategy. And a lot of places just don't change it out enough, but they don't really talk about content from the front end. They have day one strategy, and we're really challenging our clients to have a 12-month content strategy. Are we going to use user-generated content? Are we going to have, really custom designed content? And we really have a strategy behind that content. So I think it's becoming an issue that people are really learning how to be smart with content, pull from different sources, but more importantly, keeping it fresh. Nothing's worse than listening to the same 12 songs every day in the same environment, and content is the same way, right? Mm. So, deer and people don't look up. If we don't give a reason for people to look up with some great content that's fresh, the experience won't be great, right? So content strategy, and I think user-generated content is a new tool that's really coming strong right now.
I think that is 100% true. You do not want to listen to the same songs over and over again. You do not want to consume the same content on an endless loop. So I 100% agree with you. Being a writer, I can't help but to take advantage of the segue. You use the word fans. Let's talk about Super Bowl 2022 at SoFi Stadium. I know a lot of people, myself included, noticed the expansive Samsung Infinity screen wrapping around the stadium. This is a great example of businesses taking it to the next level. What role do video walls and digital signage play in creating elevated, more immersive experiences for customers, experiences they're really going to remember, perhaps even for a lifetime?
Yeah, I think that people want to be at an event, but they also want to see beautiful pictures of that event, right? For the sporting event you're speaking of. And it's just, people want to feel like they're at home, but they have the same experience, if not better, at the stadium. And that's really what that experience is about, right? We have trained people to have a great digital experience. America is digitized. The last 12 months, we have people using digital screens that you would never thought to use a digital screen. You have people buy online, pick up in store, 80 years old, right? The same ones checking in now online, checking in at hospitals digitally. And so I think this is so important that they want that same experience at an event or in a retail location. And I think some exciting video and LED walls I've seen recently is in retail with furniture, changing the backdrop, designing your headboard in your bed, and really bringing your home into a location. We all know the transaction starts on the sofa, right? And finishes in the store, or starts there and finishes in reverse, right? So these experiences of catapulting people in that environment with the right display, the right video wall, the right LED is so important right now. And I think the cost have really scaled down with LED, and the software is so capable right now of this speeding you to market and our clients to market, that interactivity and changing backdrops and putting people like they're in the story, they're part of the story, is so important.
Thank you so much, Parrish, for all the insights you shared. Very, very informative dialogue about digital signage and video walls, two super exciting categories in which Samsung, of course, is obviously an industry leader. So thank you for sharing your insights and your wisdom with our audience today. Very much appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan, for having me.
Once again, so happy to have been joined by Parrish Chapman, who is Director of Sales, B2B Display, which is inclusive of analytics and software within Samsung Electronics. And we look forward to sharing more great content just like this with you in the near future. But for now, once again, Parrish, thank you.